Claude Monet was born in France in the year 1840, and from a very young age he wanted to become an artist. He entered a school for art at just the age of 10. He moved to Paris and began painting en plein air, or outdoors in nature. He is one of the founding artists of a style known as Impressionism, named after his painting Impression Sunrise. These Impressionist artists were more concerned with capturing a feeling of a place and time rather than making a painting completely realistic. They used quick, loose brushstrokes. Monet is known for his series of paintings of the Rouen cathedral, a series of grainstacks in the fields, and especially the paintings of his garden. He painted each of these subjects at all times of day in all weather conditions to show the changes of light and color. He made over 2,500 paintings and drawings in his lifetime. Join me now as I paint a scene from his water lily pond with its famous Japanese-style bridge. For your Monet painting today, you're going to need some thick watercolor type paper, some oil pastels or crayons, watercolors, a bowl of water, a brush, and it's handy to have a paper towel. To begin, I'm going to use a light color such as a light gray, and near the top of my paper, I'm going to make a rainbow or a frown shape like this, going over the line a couple of times to make it nice and thick. I'm going to make a second line underneath and a third line in the middle. These are the railings of my Japanese bridge. Next, I'm going to do some vertical lines. I put in about 5. And I'm going to add some more color to this bridge, like it's reflecting all the color in the beautiful garden. So I'm adding some areas with some blue, some purple, and you want to press a little bit harder if you're using a crayon. The oil pastel does some of that work for you. And I'm going to take a white to go over a little bit too, to blend those colors together and make sure I've got that nice and solidly covered. Next, I'm going to use some greens to do some vertical lines and brush strokes behind or above my bridge, next to my bridge, like there are grasses and the leaves from the willow trees in Monet's garden. I'm going to use as many different shades of green as I can. So I've got 2 shades in my oil pastels here today. Now I'm going to begin making some horizontal marks to indicate the water and the reflections on the water. So I'm going to use some different colors in the water. It's hard to see, but I'm doing some areas of white that would be like clouds reflective from the sky. Some areas of blue, like the sky reflections. I'm using the side of this little bit, and now I'll make lily pads with a light green. I'm making some very long oval shapes for the lily pads. They're going to be bigger near the bottom of the page and get smaller farther away. Under each oval, I'm going to put a line or kind of a shadow where the lily pad meets the water. And I'm even going to put some purple in those shadows as well. Okay, last I'm going to make my lily blooms. I'm going to make little U's with a pink or red or purple, and then use my white inside that for the blossoms. Now I'm ready for my watercolor. Getting my brush nice and wet, I'm going to start at the top with a wash of green. Whoops. So I'm just painting this green all the way across, right over top of my oil pastel and crayon marks, covering all those white places on my paper. Using the green near the edges and the top of my paper where there's more trees and bushes. And then I'm going to use blue for the water area, like the sky is reflecting on the water. You'll see the areas where I've colored with the oil pastel. My watercolor paint does not stick, it resists. So now when this has dried a little bit, you're going to see these puddles will dry eventually, and you'll be left with something more like this. So I hope you enjoyed today's Monet, Japanese bridge, oil pastel, and watercolor.